this. So here what I am doing is just I have written one API, so which will be used the procedure get underscore emp data. So in that procedure, it will return all the employee details. Okay. So after returning this, after returning the employee details from MySQL, just I am using for loop. Okay. So for each and every iteration, I am taking employee number. So first iteration, what will be the employee number? Okay. So I am taking that employee number and giving to the MongoDB collection. Okay. So based on that employee number, I am taking salary. Okay. So that salary I am appending MongoDB, MySQL result set along with the index number. Okay. So for this calling this data from the my MongoDB, I am using await keyword. Okay. So to use this await keyword, we have to put async keyword here. Otherwise, we will get error. Okay. So after completion of all the iterations, I am going to store the result in for loop array. So I am returning that for loop array. Okay. So this is the result. So in this result, we have already seen that for employee number, EMP number 1. So salary from MySQL 1000, salary from MongoDB 1500. Okay. So for EMP number 1, MySQL salary 1000, MongoDB salary 1500. Okay. Index number is 0. Okay. Like that, similarly, following objects also same thing. Okay. So here, if you use for of loop for achieving this type of functionality, so what to do? Just write this for of array for of what will be the syntax? For let I of array is db response. Okay. So yes, db response, and open this, and you can copy same logic. And here we don't use this db response I like that. Okay, we just use I. And okay, so for index number, we have to declare one variable like let j equal to 0, and here you can increment j value. Okay, and here write j. Okay, for each and every first object, for first iteration j will be 0. For next iteration j will be incremented so that we can have the index number. Okay, so you can display for of result of array. Okay, so now go and check. So here cannot read EMP number. cannot read emp number of undefined. So response I dot emp number I dot ename, and better to put yeah. So I didn't change here. Now go and check. So this is the for loop result, and this is for of series 1A 1000 0 1500, 2B 2001 2500. Okay, so like that we can use async await keywords in for loop and for of result. Okay, for loop and for of loops. So here actually this for each loop, so we can't estimate whether it will work or not. We can't estimate it. So async and await keywords we should not use for each loop. Okay, sometimes it may give the result, sometimes it may not give the result. Okay, so see these are the difference. So for loop difference is, so it is one of the original ways of iterating over an array. So this is the new way to iterate the loop with less code. And for loop is faster than for each loop, and break statement we can't use in for loop, for each loop, and we can use in for loop. Okay, so see this. So this is the for loop, and if element dot sal greater than 1000, break. So red mark is there. Okay, that means it will not allow break statement. Okay, so if you write break statement in for loop, then see what will happen. So db response of high we have to use here. See this, it will not throw any error. Okay, that means we can use break statement in for loop, and we can't use break statement in for each loop. Okay, and parameters. So for loop, iterator, counter, incrementer, like this. This is iterator, and this is counter and incrementer. And coming to the for each, iterator, index, array. That means array, iterator, index. Okay, so if you want to use index, you can use, otherwise you can ignore it. And it works with the await keyword for loop. So for each loop it may work, for each loop it may work or it may not work. Okay, so here so it is inconsistent, for each is inconsistent. Console.log s index and this is for each, and console.log sal, I mean element dot sal. After this, console.log top index. See this, how it will be inconsistent. You just observe this. So how did I write? Yet for each starting point, I have mentioned that start index. Okay. And second, I have to display element dot salary. Okay. I have written the code like that. And third, it has to display stop and index number. See this. Start 0, start 1, start 2. Okay. And 1000, stop 0, 2000, stop 1, 2000. But I have written the console statement like this. Start 0, index number, and salary 1000, and stop 0. So the data will be displayed like this, but it didn't display like this. Okay, why? Because you have used async and await keywords so that it produces inconsistent data. Okay, that's why we didn't get the data set. Okay, sometimes it may give the data, but sometimes it may not give the data. So my advice is, if we want to use async and await keywords and main functionality, then don't go for each loop. Go for loop. Okay, so you can observe this. So here, so this type of response we are getting while using for each. Or else, yeah. So same type of console statement I am using in for loop. We will see. So here db index number is I, and at the end of this for loop I want to display stop. So here start and console.log, not here. After getting the salary I want to display, so sal. So I didn't comment this. I didn't comment this. Okay. This. So initially I have got start 0 and 1500 stop 0. So this belongs to first iteration. Next, start 1 2500 stop 1. This is belongs to second iteration. Start 2 3500 stop 2. This is third iteration. Okay, so we can say that it produces consistent data. So earlier what we have seen that in for each loop, start 0, start 1, start 2. Again 1000, stop 0, 2000, stop 1. So this is inconsistent data. So inconsistent flow of execution. Okay. So that's why we didn't get the data set from API method. Okay, so sometimes it may give the result, sometimes it may not give the result. Okay, so you can observe this in for loop for off also. So for off, so just make a comment. So here console.log. Here I am going to display start plus j, that is iteration number, and after this I am going to display console.log val, and at the end I am going to display console.log top and index number j. So see this. So this is sorry, I have to put this console statement before going to increment. Okay, see this. This is belongs to first iteration, and this is belongs to second iteration, and this is belongs to third iteration. So for of loop also producing consistent data, consistent flow of data. Okay, so whereas for each it didn't produce consistent flow of data. Okay, and